MCU fans being trained to only respond to gimmicks. How might even the Avengers brand have been affected at the box office without the gimmicks they were currently using, like Robert Downey Jr. and X-Men? Well, I don't know. I mean, I think it's reductive to just kind of put it on just talk about gimmicks without talking about all the other stuff kind of involved with it. I feel like with Avengers Doomsday, they've limited themselves to gimmicks because they didn't do the hard work of setting up the movie. Infinity War, well, I mean, even the first Avengers was set up by every movie in the MCU that came before it. In some way was building to, is introducing a character. The criticism of Iron Man 2 is that it was too much of an Avengers setup movie. That's always been one of the biggest criticisms of that film. And that was just to do a team up with just a simple team up movie, the most basic of team up movies. And then, you didn't do a lot of setup for Age of Ultron. That was kind of a standalone Avengers movie in most regards. But then you do Civil War, which lays the foundation for Infinity War. The Avengers have broken up. They're not friends anymore, and they're not a team anymore. And you manipulate all these kind of storylines to put people in different places that leads into Infinity War. That we knew about Infinity Stones, we knew the Avengers were in trouble, we knew how even the Guardians, who have nothing to do with all of our other characters over here, we know their connections to Infinity Stones and Thanos. So we even know how they tie into it. So you're really invested going into that film. And you know who the Avengers are supposed to be and who might be the new Avengers. They haven't done any of that hard work to get you invested in the storyline. We haven't spent enough time with the new characters, Shang-Chi or whoever, to really be invested in them. He's had one movie and some What If episodes in 5 years. And we've had one Black Panther movie. It's like we spent so much time before Infinity War with all of our heroes. We'd already had a trilogy of multiple, 3 different of our heroes had a full trilogy in and of itself. And essentially we'd had a full trilogy of Avenger films before Infinity War because, on a story level, for our team, Civil War functionally is another Avengers movie. It, in some ways, addresses the nature of the Avengers more so than Age of Ultron does, because it shows conflict in them and the dissolution. That's so much buildup leading into the movie, and we just don't have that for anyone in phases 4 and 5. Not one character. So what do you have left if you haven't done the hard work of building up new characters and plot lines? What do you have left? Well, you go, people love Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. is coming back. The X-Men, remember the X-Men? They're coming back. And you just go, look at everybody in the movie. There's a side to that where you go, that's cool. That's really exciting. Wow, man, this is really, really, really neat. And there's a side to it where you go, wait a minute, what's the plot? Wait, how in one movie do you set up all these characters? How is this even going to work? I don't understand. This is crazy. That's where my brain goes. It's not just that audiences have been trained. It's also the MCU has failed to develop the broader story and build out new stars. I don't know. I've done videos before that I feel like they should have done. Thunderbolts should have closed out phase 4, and maybe Young Avengers close out phase 5. And maybe you make the whole, you close out phase 4 with the Thunderbolts, and your marketing campaign for the movie is, we don't have the Avengers. All we have are these guys. And they're in on the joke that people don't know who the Thunderbolts are. They're in on the joke that these are the leftovers. These are the underdogs. And you build a whole marketing campaign around that. And if you do that at the end of phase 4, that's the fun underdog story of the smaller team replacing our Avengers. No Avengers, but we got them. And you do it at a point in time where it's still those characters are still fresh and new, because we just introduced all of them over the last few years in a series of projects. And then you pull them together in your team up movie. Now you've made the new stars of phases 4, 5, and 6. It's that they're not the Avengers, but at least we got the Thunderbolts. And they're more irreverent. They're kind of screwy in more ways than the Avengers, but that's who we got. And then Phase 5 ends, and maybe it's some combination of Young Avengers and the Fantastic Four, or maybe you just do a normal-sized Avengers movie. Don't try and top Infinity War and Endgame. Make an Avengers movie with the current lineup that's the size of Age of Ultron. Do that, lay the foundation of the team, and so when you get to our movie, we know about character dynamics and all this stuff. But when you don't do all of that, you're left with gimmicks. You're left with, look who's coming back. And I don't think that's good for them.
Most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month. For $2 per month, $20 per year, you can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams. For $5 per month, you get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.